my nurses and healthcare sisters and brothers, I'm sure when you started healthcare, things of getting laid off was something that never happened. When you become a nurse, you were sure of a job, right? Yes. But looking at these newscasts and listening to my colleagues in these organizations, it's not so sure anymore. Where is healthcare going to?
We do. I don't know.
So this is what it looks like to be a nurse practitioner who was laid off her HIV job after working for the same company for almost 7 years. I get to be at home on a Wednesday morning and relaxing because I started working some. I have 2 telehealth jobs that when I work on one day of the week and the other one I pick my own schedule until I figure out a full-time job or my next move. This feels kind of weird. I feel like I don't know what day of the week it is ever now. I guess it's Wednesday. I guess I was laid off almost 2 weeks ago tomorrow, which is absolutely insane. And yeah, I'm excited for what's to come in my nursing career.
Hey guys, Robert here. Welcome back to the channel. We want to address what's going on in the news. Lots and lots of layoffs. Let me say this before we go any further. If you are blessed to have a job, hold on to it, appreciate it, because everyone is not in your situation.
#blessed.
And if you're a nurse, this topic really matters because layoffs are happening, even in hospitals that say that they're stable today. Why is it happening? More importantly, what to do if this hits you, how to protect your home, your state of mind, your overall well-being, and why being proactive in times like these can be a lifesaver.
You want to know how I knew that the economy was really, really bad and that we are actually in a recession? And healthcare is bad.
True that, Ernesto. Right on the money.
And I'm going to tell you this. Ask anybody that you know in healthcare, a nurse, anybody who works in a hospital. When is the last time that nurses have been laid off? When is the last time that an extremely popular niche hospital has closed? Like Texas Children, who had a ton of funding and a lot of money.
Houston, we have a problem.
And I've been a nurse since 2013. And before that, I still worked in healthcare. I was an anesthesia tech. I've worked in healthcare in some capacity. I have never in my life seen staffing this bad. And if you don't believe me, right now in Texas, there are certain hospitals, certain units, med-surg, tele units that are taking 10 patients per nurse. And this isn't even an HCA hospital because y'all love to say the HCA is the trenches. It's bad out here, y'all. If you work in a hospital right now, especially if you work in med-surg, what are your ratios that you're seeing right now? Are y'all taking 10 patients too? This is crazy. Medicaid keeps playing with us and changing these reimbursement rules. All I have to say is stay healthy. Stay out of the hospital, especially if you're in Texas.
You want to stay out of the hospital regardless of where you are. Based upon what I'm seeing, costs are up, revenues are squeezed, labor and supply costs have jumped. And some of these hospital systems are cutting staff to balance those books, okay? Care is shifting, as she was saying. I mean, the work to patient ratio is crazy high. If you got somebody in the hospital, check on your people, man. Don't just leave them there. But there's more procedures are moving to like an outpatient setting. And so there's not as many folks in the hospital anymore. There's a restructuring going on. And they're going to get rid of the folks. A lot of times that's making a lot of money. I think what you guys have to do is just always keep that in the forefront of your mind. If you hear and feel what's going on, pay attention to your surroundings. Let me know in the comment section if some of the things that I'm saying is spot on or if I'm missing anything. I bring these videos and these topics to help all of us level up and make sure that we're looking out for one another and to be proactive.
I don't know if your hospital is about to go through a major layoff or closure. 2 warning signs that you don't want to miss. Last week, I reported there were up to 41 hospitals with major layoffs and closures. Now we're up to 51, and it's just a week later, halfway through July. Why this is important is because you don't want to be on your heels when they make this announcement. You can prepare ahead of time, get ahead of the curve. The first one is sneaky. Companies are going to offer an early retirement option. Yale just announced this yesterday. Not always, but most of the time, it decreases the amount that they have to reduce in force from a non-voluntary perspective. The second way of knowing if a company is about to lay off is you can always check the WARN notice list. This can vary state by state, but it basically provides several different stipulations that companies must issue. Kind of Google WARN, go to your state, click 2025, and then you can just scroll and it will literally tell you the letter and how many positions that they're expecting to lay off. Don't be caught unaware. Use this information to inform yourself, be prepared, get ready. Use this as a career transition to better yourself and your career and possibly your work-life balance.
Are you ready?
I went to work this morning and got laid off. I worked for a university clinic that was a free clinic to students, and they just decided up today that they were done with it. They weren't going to afford it anymore, I guess. So they laid me and the nurse off, which we were the only 2 people that worked in the clinic. So life's just throwing me some curveballs, but I'm going to make the best of it. I'm going to have faith that God's just going to put me where I need to be. Everything happens for a reason. And I'm going to spend the rest of July with my kids. Not only will I be enjoying the rest of the summer with my children, but I will be most definitely seeking new employment opportunities.
If you stay ready, you won't have to get ready. Love the mindset. She's going to take some time, get some rest, spend the most valuable time, in my opinion, with your family, with your children particularly. Then prepare herself to figure out what direction she's going to go in next. I'm a proponent of having more than one source of income. Maybe you guys, if you've been laid off, you could take this time and invest in this internet thing, understand the business side of it. And although it may start off small, you never know, it might turn into something significant as you put time into it. Good thing is, if you're in the healthcare industry, it shouldn't be hard for you to get back on your feet. Hopefully, you don't have a lot of debt and those things that, make this transition harder. So let's summarize. If you do get laid off, this is some things you want to think about to do in the first 48 hours. You want to get your paperwork and all your timelines together. Secure your health coverage. Make sure that COBRA is in place. I believe you have 60 days to make sure that election is in a good position. And then there's some other marketplace plans that you might be able to use to subsidize your health care while you're making the transition. File for your unemployment the same week that you're notified. And then always make sure you notify your unemployment agency if there's any severance compensation that you're going to receive as a result of the layoff. And then a couple other things that you could do. Make sure you keep your licenses in full effect in whatever states that they're in. And then you want to bridge that income. Again, because of the industry that you're in, there's a lot of options that you have available to you while you figure out what it is that you want to do. Network and, speak to your other colleagues that are in the industry. But more importantly, hold your head. This too will pass, as she said. Well, and what don't kill you makes you stronger. So 2 other things. If you are a homeowner, make sure you reach out to your servicer and let them know what the situation is, because there's a lot of things in place for you to help mitigate if you find yourself in a hardship with as far as your mortgage is concerned. And one last thing, if you're in any industry and you're a homeowner, especially if you bought prior to 2020, you're probably sitting on a boatload of equity. I think it's a wise thing, it's a sage thing to do to either investigate a home equity line of credit, not to use, but just to have it sitting there, because once you lose that income, you can't go and tap into those things. And so that's just like a safety net there, that you can have that equity on deck and you don't have to touch your interest rate, especially if you have a lower interest rate. So entertain those things if you've not been laid off, just to have a safety net. But if you know you're going to touch that money and not do well with it, then don't do that, because we don't want you to have, more and more problems than you need to. My time is up. I thank you for yours. As I always say, guys, let's be good to one another. Let grace abound. And until the next time, indeed, y'all be blessed.